Where do the limbs actually start, do you think?
They start in chi.
Yeah.
It all started, it has to come from that center point, and everything's connected. The limbs are artificial. I mean, they're conceptual in our heads, but they sprout out from the center. So it's like, when you cut a limb off a tree, you can't put it back on because the limb on the tree centers in its roots. And it's the same with your limbs. You don't, your support of your arm doesn't come at the shoulder, it comes from your roots. The limb of a tree doesn't start at the joint where the tree joins.
Yeah. So,
But we always think of it as such, but I mean, you cut it off, you can't put it back on. There's no way you can bolt it back on, because the energy from that thing comes from deep within the tree, from the central core of the tree.
and for those of us applying biotensegrity to specific disciplines, especially in movement, Susan coming from Tai Chi and myself and of course Chris from the yoga and working within yoga movement, certain modalities are more therapeutic and interested in smaller range of motion, very powerful therapeutic disciplines. And then some forms of yoga, it's kind of a big spectrum going from more yin to very dynamic forms which explore movement, taking it to the full extent of what's possible in movement and looking at ways to move more safely, get deeper, if you like, into postures. Would you say there's a place for spirality or so-called helical action?
I think it's through the whole system. I mean, we are not, our brains are not programmed to see multiple levels at the same time. Our brains are really programmed for reductionist thinking. So we always go down to some reductionist kind of thing when we think. What we have to learn to do is make sure that when you think at that level, that it can expand through the whole system. So you can't just find a solution to a local problem without that solution being able to plug into the whole system. And that's what we always have been doing, is you can say, okay, I can move my arm this way, so therefore this is what's happening at that arm. But if it doesn't fit into the system, forget about it. The example I usually use is the electrical grid. If I want to read, I go to my engineer friend and I said, I need to read this magazine, and he hands me a flashlight. And I say, well, yeah, that's nice, I can read fine, but I have other people in the family who want to read, and I have a refrigerator and a thing and a microwave that I'll put a generator in your house. And I said, well, that's fine, but my neighbors are also into this kind of thing. Can we get a thing? Oh, he said, well, I can hook a thing up at the other end, but I have to go to 10,000 volts out there to get you your 110 over here. And of course, we have to have everything in your house set at 110 because if I have some at 220, it's not going to work. So we all have to, and not only that, but I have to make sure I have the right plug that fits in, right? You see, and then of course it just keeps going on from there, right? The point of it is that you have to understand the depth of the system in order to make a lamp that fits into the system. And if you get a lamp that's a perfectly fine lamp, everything perfect, and it doesn't plug into the system, forget about it, it's worthless.
Right.
Okay, and if you come up with a solution to something or other that you're doing, lifting, bending, twisting, scratching your ear, or whatever you're doing, if it doesn't fit into the total system, the solution is wrong. See? And that's what we have been doing all along, is because we've always stuck at a level and we say, okay, we're at this level. So when I started thinking of, to say, tensegrity for the spine, I knew that if that tensegrity didn't work at every level, then it wasn't the solution.
Okay.
So, and then, of course, then I started testing it all. And then it came to Inberg's work, who was doing this stuff at the cellular level, and said, well, it fits right into what I've been saying. So it's this, understanding the whole system and how you have to understand that at each level, it has to fit into the total system. So you can have local adjustments going on where it's going on, but if it doesn't fit into the total system, it doesn't work. And it's never going to work.
So you, sorry, Susan.
Well, and that's how you know you've got a theory wrong, is that it might fit here, but it doesn't fit everywhere.
Right.
So that something's off, and so you've got to figure out.
Right. It's so
Where your
usually
logic's wrong.
you're looking for the exceptions. You know, that's if it doesn't fit, then you know something's wrong.